Our next one. India has kept the guru-disciple tradition alive for thousands of years. My question is this the true religion, especially given that Jesus himself was trained by gurus in India before going back to the Middle East to serve the people there in what we know as his ministry? Furthermore, are all religions based on some form of the guru-disciple relationship? How does one keep this relationship alive when a guru's teachings become an organized religion, and the original teachings of the guru are now being taught out of context or have become distorted? Well, that's a mouthful. You've got all kinds of questions in there. So you're asking, is the guru-disciple religion the true religion? Well, true religion, you have the one asking the question, you have some biases and judgments in the way you ask your questions. So I would like to, as best I can, dissolve those and transcend those in answering it as well. The one true religion is truth and love. All religions came from that. And whether there was a prophet or a divine incarnation or a master who is delivering truth and love to the planet is kind of irrelevant. Some of the major and minor organized religions happened in that way, by way of avatars embodied, or by way of prophets who had divine revelation or were spoken through, or had access to divine beings, etc. All the religions came from the same place. They came from basic inherent truths and love. All organized religions do have various varying levels of distortion, every single one. There is no organized religion that is absolute truth, absolute purity in every word, in every piece of scripture. They don't exist. All of them have distortion, some more than others. I'm not going to name names. There are some that are more pure than others, but they all have distortion. But what's more important than that, again, remember the talk I just gave a little while ago about using tools. The best way to use it is, again, to include it into your sphere of consciousness and be like, I say this about myself to people all the time, be the miner panning for gold. Let's say you're a follower or you participate in a particular religion. Use that scripture and use the traditions and the histories and the culture of that tradition, of that religion, and be the miner panning for gold. What has value for you, use and apply. What doesn't, toss back in the river. You don't need to judge it or condemn it, but if it has no value for you, then leave it behind. So, and if it does have value, then apply it to your life and use it. All religions have goodness in them. All of them have usable truth in them. They just need to be taken at face value and used for how you want to use them. It's really important not to condemn any one or all of them, because they all have value. Remember, water seeks its own level, and students will seek the perfect teachers for them as well, whether it's religion or a guru or whatever. The true religion is truth and love. When people come to me and they say, oh, what religion are you? I'll often say, well, I'm the same religion God is. You tell me what religion God is, and that's mine. And they go, huh? And they get that weird look that the puppy gets when you switch which hand the ball's in, and they go, one ear comes up. Because every religion thinks theirs is the best, but no one says God's a Jew, God's a Christian, God's a Muslim. God is God. God is Allah, is the infinite. So no one says God is their religion. They just say their religion is the best expression and way to be with God. But God is the infinite, the absolute. So I just say, well, I'm the same religion God is. You define God's religion, that's mine. Or the other question I'll ask them, I'll say, okay, I'll run with your philosophy here. When they say, what religion are you? Or they'll say, in answer to that, well, you have to be one. You have to be some religion, so. And I'll say, okay, well, let me ask you a question. Since you insist that I have to be part of some organized religion, I just might not be aware of it. Let me pose this to you. Religions, as we know them, organized religions, have only been on the planet arguably 5,000 to 7,000 years. Humans have been on the planet 2 to 3 million years, arguably, and proven through skeletons and carbon dating, etc. So what existed before organized religion? And they go, and then they do the puppy face again when you switch the ball. They go, and I say, truth and love. They are the true religion. And then the other thing I say to people is keep this in mind to help burnish away judgments of various religions. Most people are aware that almost all the wars on the planet are being fought over religion. Who loves God more, who's better, and God doesn't approve or like seeing people kill each other, especially over their love for him and her, of all craziness, the insanity of it all. So, an important principle, if you take all the world's religions and put each one in a pot of boiling water for an hour, at the end of that hour, you look in all the pots, you'll see the same pearls at the bottom of the pot. The book is gone, the scripture's gone, the name is gone, but the same pearls of truth and love will be in the bottom of every pot if you boil them down. That's what's important. That's what's most important. They all came from truth and love, and they were heard and written and delivered in different ways, and over the course of time and ages and eons, and translation, competition, politics, royalty, edicts, editing, censoring, translation to other languages, greed, vanity, corruption, I said competition. They all took on distortion over time. And also, even when they were created, the norms and cultural traditions of that time helped flavor some of them as well. Many of them, like if the same divine revelation came today as purely as it came to the individual who received it or harnessed it or heralded it, it would not necessarily be written the same because it was delivered to a people of that time. Like, for instance, if you look at the Bible, the language in the Bible was the vernacular that was appropriate at that time. The human race has evolved a couple thousand years since that time. So even if the same pearls were delivered now, let's say, for instance, Jesus' first appearance happened today instead of then, what got written and would eventually become the Bible after he left, because as we know, he didn't write the Bible, but it was accounts of his life and teachings written by others. But those stories would be different. The pearls at the end of the hour of boiling would be the same, but the words used and the cultural flavors would be different because the human race, the human species, is not the same now as it was 2,000 years ago. Very important principle that most people lose sight of. So what's important is the essence, and the essence is the same. So back to your question, is the true religion guru-disciple? The true religion is truth and love. And masters, gurus, are harbingers of that and have been, the ones who are real. I mean, now we live in the age of tainted saints, so there are quite a lot of charlatans out there right now. But again, that also doesn't matter because lesser students draw lesser teachers, and water seeks its own level. So laws of physics just apply all the time. If your intent is pure and your heart is pure, you'll find the right one for you. And if you don't, that's okay too, because it's all perfect. It's all perfect. That's what's great about it. It's a foolproof system. It really and truly is. And there are traps in there everywhere to catch people out on their judgments. How people are so quick to judge each other. And it's important to move past that. There's no need to fight and compare and kill and persecute people over who's better or who's best. The pursuit should be what's best for you. Just pursue what you feel in your heart is best for you, and let everybody else do what's best for them, without having to proselytize or preach or condemn or awaken, heal, enlighten, fix, all of that nonsense. That's all a lot of ego garbage that's unnecessary. Love all, serve all. Or as I like to say, bless everyone and everything all the time. And focus on what you in your heart feel is best for you in furthering your self-purification and your burgeoning divinity and relationship with the Creator.